Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Aaron Amatayo, aka Mr. A. Before we go ahead, I just want you to do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel because I've got lots of amazing content coming up. So please subscribe, like, share it, all that good stuff. Now, I've got here today my beautiful, beautiful other half. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm V and I'm the other half.
So we are going through something amazing that we want to share with everybody. We are refurbishing our family home. If you guys know me, I'm mega into property and I've done lots of refurbishments. I've project managed, other jobs for other people, but this is the first time I'm doing a major refurbishment of my own property, my own house. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing journey that I want you guys to come along with us. In terms of what we're doing, we're going to be doing an external extension in the back of the property and also some internal modifications. Now, let's go back to the beginning, rewind it back to, when we bought the property and what we went through in the beginning, the whole journey to getting to where we are now. So, we bought this house about 18 months ago. It's a detached, beautiful detached house in like a cul-de-sac. But I definitely didn't see the potential, did I?
No, so we viewed the house the beginning of 2023. I found it on Rightmove as you do, and yeah, I could see potential even from just the outside. Obviously, the inside obviously looked quite outdated, but I could just see that it had a lot of
disgusting. It
potential.
wasn't even outdated. It was like
Yeah,
yellow. Some of the
yeah,
rooms were
yeah.
painted
The colors
yellow,
were interesting.
bogey green carpets.
Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
very aesthetically pleasing, but we did the viewing and yeah, I mean the garden was a forest, put it that way, so that was already like a no. It was like, oh,
garden
how are we going
was a
to tame
jungle,
that?
some crazy ass jungle.
Yeah,
Like,
it was quite distracting to be honest. So
I remember, like, I was like, no, I wasn't on it,
yeah,
was I?
yeah, no, Erin wasn't on it, but I could see the potential and I
Yeah,
could see that we could do quite a lot with the property, albeit that it would take a while, but I could see the potential. So we put in a very cheeky offer, didn't we?
we did. And I think that's what tweaked my interest was because, like, obviously, I saw it and I was like, nah, I don't want this because where we was living before, our previous house was modern. We bought it brand new. When we bought it, we was the first occupants in the property, so it had everything. We didn't have to do one single bit of work to it. We lived in the house for what, 12
12
years?
years, yeah.
And yeah, it was just fit for purpose.
Yeah.
Only reason why we wanted to basically buy another property was because, as a lot of people would recognize with new builds, there's only so much you can do. It's got everything there already. So it was a two-bedroom, and we had a growing family. We couldn't go up in the loft because there was not enough space in the loft, and we couldn't go out in the back because
Not enough space.
the garden was tiny. As beautiful as the house was, we needed more space.
Yeah.
So I believe, like, when we were searching for properties, I still had in my mindset that, you know what, I want to move into something that's ready. Like, I don't have to do much work. Whereas I think your mindset was more like you wanted a blank canvas, something that you can put your own stamp on,
Definitely.
and that's why you saw potential in this house.
Yeah, because obviously, as you said, we lived in a brand new property, so it was actually a show home, so we had a lot of benefits.
Perks
Yeah,
thrown
we had
into
the
the house.
flooring was all done.
Everything was done.
We had even some parts of the furniture were left behind. So I think the second time
Those
round,
lovely mirrors.
yeah, I wanted to put my own stamp on it, and I wanted to make it a bit more palatable to our taste.
It was crazy. It was even in terms of when you walk into the house, there's so many walls.
So many doors.
As I said, the furniture, the carpet, the painted walls. The kitchen was some kind of sea blue. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously, you have to have the vision.
Yeah.
Now, we've lived in the house now for, I think, almost 18 months.
18 months, yeah.
And initially we moved in and we just felt that, you know what, we're going to make the house palatable for us. So we did a few, I would say a small refurbishment where we changed the carpets, we painted the walls all white, we just made it comfortable for us. House tour. Finally just got the carpets in. No more ugly green walls and yellow walls and all that nonsense. Yeah.
True.
Bathroom's still a state though, so we need to get that sorted out. Woohoo! This was the yellow room before, but it's not yellow anymore. Woohoo! Yeah. We knew we had a vision, you know, the big plan, the big goal was to do the extension, was to, you know, totally rejig the way the house is set up, break down some walls, let some natural light flood in. Because we do have a south facing garden, but we had this ugly, well, some people won't call it ugly, but I'm not a.
No, let's call a spade a spade. It was ugly. And we'll probably insert some pictures for you to see.
Yeah. The conservatory was old wooden oak mahogany thing going on, and it just blocked a lot of light coming into the house.
Yeah.
So again, these are the things that we didn't want, but clearly we saw the vision. Now, another thing that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've embarked on a journey. We're 18 months in, even to get to this stage where we're now ready to actually start the refurb. We spent the last good 18 months in the planning stage of things because we want to do things the right way. Okay, and as part of that, you've got to go for planning permission from the local council. We had to get an architect involved. We had to get a structural engineer involved because obviously we're breaking down load-bearing walls and all that. And so, how much? Because I want to talk about money. It's important to be transparent.
It is.
Talk about money because nothing's free. You know, even in Freetown, nothing's free. So we got to talk about the money and we've got to talk about our budget.
Definitely.
So how much have we spent so far? Just getting to this point without any building work being done.
Yeah. So roughly, I think it's been about 10,000.
10K, and we haven't even done one thing. we haven't even scratched the wall, and we've already spent 10K blowing money fast on this side.
Yeah.
Like, what have we spent the 10K on?
So initially we had to get a design proposal done from our architect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big up our architect. Yeah, Maz Designs, Mary. She's an amazing architect.
She's amazing.
You know, we highly recommend her.
Definitely. So we had to get the options package done, which was amazing. I'll recommend that.
We did search the market for architects.
We did, yeah, we did.
We did our due diligence, which I always recommend in anything that you're doing within any house building process, anything like that. At least get 3 quotes. Get three minimum. Yeah. V, she likes to get like 20. she's just on it like that.
I'm a saucer.
Minimum 3, yeah.
Yeah, I would say minimum 3. So the option package was really good because that kind of gave us an indication of what the house could look like based on different designs. So that was good. It kind of gave us an insight of what the house could look like and what we could do with the space, which is amazing. Once we've done the options package, then we kind of decide on the design, and then we then go for planning permission. But the issue was the idea or the design that we liked, we weren't sure whether our local authority was going to accept it. So we had to do a pre-application consultation.
Pre-planning application.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Which is very wise thing to do, and we'll always advise it because you could have all these grand ideas that you want to do, but don't actually jump the gun by, putting in an application for planning permission, not knowing if they're going to accept it or not. So there's a thing called a pre-planning application. You're going to pay how much?
A small fee.
Small fee.
It was around, don't quote me, but over like £200. About
obviously, different councils will charge different, but basically, what it will give is an indication, of your proposed works if the council's going to accept it or not, and there might be some variations that they're going to suggest that you do, which makes basically you're going to save time and money. So always think of that before you go ahead and just submit a planning application.
And in our case, that was actually really important because the design proposal we had was refused when we did the planning application. They advised that we do something different because of their laws and legislations or whatever.
Okay, wasn't it around that?
I'm not
something
sure.
Around that. But the main thing is that initially what we wanted to do, and you'll see from the way the house is set out, we've got like a a garage on the side of the property, and what we wanted to do was do a double height on the garage,
Yeah.
okay, and the extension. So we had a plan of a double height on the garage and then the rear extension.
Mm-hmm.
That was rejected because they believed that right of light from our adjacent neighbors would be blocked up if we did a double height on top of the garage.
Yeah.
So we had to basically rethink that. We wouldn't have known this if we just submitted a planning application, because that would have been rejected, and we're like, okay, cool, we now have to do it all over again. But the pre-app enabled us to know that that was going to be rejected. So we just basically stuck to having the rear extension, and we also had the option of going
loft,
up in the loft conversion as well.
That was actually what I'm fast forwarding a bit, but when we then decided to go for permitted development, we then requested for rear extension and loft. So we've been granted that anyway. So that's been good.
Yeah, and for those that don't know what permitted development is, it just basically we have got permitted development rights to extend our property. I believe because we are in a detached property, we can go out up to 6 or 8 meters, something like that. Don't quote me. Without getting planning permission, but we still have to have a certificate of approval to say yes, they've given us, approval. So now we've got our planning. We've got the permitted development, which basically gives us the right to do an extension, rear extension, and we can go up in the loft. But we're not doing that because we've got the rooms that we need.
We've got 4 bedrooms.
We've got 4 bedrooms already, so we're just mainly focusing on the rear extension and some internal modifications.
Yeah, it's actually going to be really exciting because I feel like the way they built the house when it was built in 19 God knows what. Obviously, it's not that old. It's like 1980s.
Not that old, but I think the previous occupants, all due respect to them, weren't the most
well, it was just
savvy when it came to
dated, isn't it?
It was very dated.
Dated. Even like the ceilings, the design of the ceilings.
Old school.
Very old school.
Old school. Very
so we had to change all of that in order for us to get that modern finish that we like. So so now
what we need to talk about is budgets again.
Yeah. So we've already spent the 10K, as we said.
10K gone just on planning, just on architects.
Actually, it wasn't just on architects. We had to get a structural engineer
as well,
or design.
Yeah.
And that costs about 1,000, just over £1,000.
Yeah, that was like 1,300.
Yeah, 1,300.
All in with that, yeah.
We also had to get a
topographical survey because in our garden we've got trees, we've got a lot going on. So topographical survey just basically does a whole measurement of the surrounding land around the property. We also had to get a drainage survey as well.
We did get a
drainage survey, and what that is basically somebody comes and inspects their drains, and just sees where the whole drains are laid out. All this is very important if you're going to be doing a rear extension, because you're digging into foundations. You're going to be, changing a lot of things that the property would have had before. So again, it all adds up, but it's important to have the knowledge to know that these are the things you're going to do if you want to do your build properly, and you want to be budgeting as well. Okay?
Yeah, budgeting is really important.
Before we've even done anything, we already spent like 10K.
Yeah.
Now, the next phase was now sourcing and looking for builders. Okay. Now this one, look, I work in the industry. Okay. I've worked in property for the last 13 years. I'm an estate agent. If you don't follow me already, Aaron_Omotayo, that's my Instagram handle. I run a company called Prime 360 where we do lettings, properties, management, sales, you name it in terms of property, we do it. Okay. Now, because of that and because of my previous experiences in property, I felt that, we could get this whole build done for, a good price.
Okay? Yeah, I think
a reasonable budget.
Yeah, but we also
that's what I had in my mind.
Have a small budget in general.
We have a small budget, and we was good with that. We're confident because I believe we are people that don't mind getting your hands dirty.
Yeah,
don't mind taking time to source things and go directly to the source of what we need to get.
Yeah.
Now we felt, let's do the due diligence. Let's invite builders around to come over, give us quotes, all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I was shocked at the prices that were getting thrown around.
Yeah,
Like,
we've
what
had
was we
some.
hearing?
I think we had like 120,000.
120,000 for what? A rare extension that
Yeah,
is what? 21
21
square
square.
feet. Yeah?
Yeah,
21 square
200 square
meters, sorry.
meters. Yeah,
21 square meters. Internal remodification. I know we're breaking down some walls. We're also moving the stairs. Where the stairs is positioned in our house right now is almost in the center of the house.
yeah.
We want to move it more to the hallway as you come into the house.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have in the master bedroom an ensuite and a walk-in wardrobe as well. That's it mainly, you know. And I believe myself, 120K for that is wild.
Yeah, but also that's what the market is at
That's
the
what the
moment.
market is.
So,
But V,
yeah.
I think the reason for that is because a lot of builders, and big up the builders out there, you know, y'all doing your thing, and I respect it, you know. I'm not hating on builders, but I think a lot of it is because a lot of people that do refurbs, if you're not planning to do things with yourself, you're gonna just say, okay, Mr. Builder, come in, this is what I want, these are the drawings, you get on with it. So you obviously you're gonna source the labor and the materials. Now materials is where I believe a lot of markup is happening.
Yeah,
you know?
obviously, because for them, you know, they just have a supplier that they use. They're going to use that supplier. They're going to get the materials from them. And it's almost just how they do it. Whereas, obviously, if we were sourcing the materials, we might want to look at 2 or 3 merchants before we just choose. We might want to get like materials from one merchant and another set of materials from another. Whereas builders don't have time for that. They just want to go to one merchant that they use all the time, and that could actually be at our expense,
our expense,
which we wouldn't really know. Because,
we wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
So what we planned and what we have strategized in order to, you know, because we got one for 120, one quote for 120.
Yeah,
we got another one for 95. Yeah,
95,000.
We got, I think the lowest that we got from a builder was probably 78 or something like that. And
70,000.
Yeah, 70,000. So we realized that okay, in order for us to kind of have this in our budget and have things go kind of in the way that we want it to go, we would have to project manage.
Yes.
Okay. So that means us basically taking control of things like materials. And number 2, we decided that we are going to have a builder come in and just take care of the labor.
Yeah, focus on the labor.
So we will be the ones focusing on the materials and sourcing of the products. Now, this is something that we would recommend if you are tight on a budget, because there's 2 things you can do to save money on the build.
Yeah.
1 is to source materials yourself, and 2 is to probably do most of the job yourself as well.
Yeah.
Now, we're both very busy people. Okay, I run a business. V, she's also a contractor, so we are busy. So in terms of doing the work ourselves, we might not have enough time or skills, because again, we want it to be done to a high quality.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we decided is that we can probably project manage and, you know, get most of the materials ourselves and source the materials ourselves.
Yeah.
So because of that, we've now just taken quotes for labor, and now what we're doing is we're out there, you know, literally sourcing all the materials. And this is where, you know, having the diligence, having the patience to speak to different merchants. Resilience. It's true. It's true. To speak to different merchants, to visit different merchants, you know, timber houses, higher, HSS higher, the likes of, you know, those type of companies, even down to going to different in terms of our kitchen.
Yeah, and also even things like the steelwork. We have to look for different steel. What do you call them? Fabricators.
Steel fabricators. So we like. This is the master sourcer. She like calls 20 companies. Yeah, I don't have that amount of patience, but she's great at that. So she'll call around, get different prices, and there's a trick in it all, because at the end of the day, the building industry is quite vast. Okay, but the thing is, it's extremely competitive. And we realized that. You can literally speak to one merchant that you're trying to get quotes from, and you could be like, listen, I've spoken to, you know, XYZ company, they're doing their stills for this price. Can you price match? Yeah. And guess what? 9 out of 10 times they will price match, because they don't want to lose your business. They don't. So we've found, you know, numerous ways to save money. So it's all about getting out in the market. Don't be afraid, you know, call up several companies, let them know what you're doing, and let them know that, listen, I'm speaking to your competitor. Can you beat them or not? And if you can, let's do business. If you can't, See you later.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
simple as
Also,
that.
like for us, well, because we always kind of had it in our plans that we were gonna do some sort of a house build. Whatever property that we got, it was always gonna be something that we wanted to do. So, like going back even like 2 years ago, we've just kind of been so invested in home improvement
Oh
and
yes.
in
Yes. Grand designs.
grand designs, my home made
My home made
perfect.
perfect.
There's another one as well, worst house on the street. Those programs have literally
Over the
been
last
our go-to.
3 years,
3 years,
even before we
yeah,
bought this house,
and we've
we've
learned
invested
so
a
much.
lot of our time into researching.
Yeah,
It's taken up a lot of our brain.
yeah,
So like we've been getting tips, and that's what it's about. It's
yeah,
about learning what from others,
others, yeah.
and when you get into the position to start doing your own build,
Mm,
you see that, what, I actually can, navigate this market and,
yeah,
get the best deals because they're out there.
definitely.
So B,
Mhm.
let's tell them
Mm.
what is our budget.
So, excluding obviously the 10,000 that we've already spent, because that money's already gone, we have a total budget of
Drum roll.
£50,000.
£50,000. Okay, now we've told builders this, and they've laughed us out. Like they've literally looked at us like we're
and said
crazy.
it is never gonna
I'm
happen.
like, yo, I think that's a healthy budget.
They're like,
I
no.
think that's healthy. So we're gonna really put on our, our project management hats here.
Yep.
Okay, we've been lucky enough to find a builder that
Mhm.
is, quoted us a good price in
Yeah.
terms of his labor.
I would say so,
And then
yeah.
now it's up to us to source all the materials. And now when I say materials, we're talking from diggers,
Yep.
to props from when the walls were broken down,
Yeah.
to all the stud work,
All
to
the timber frames,
timber frames,
even down to the nails.
blocks, even down to nails and screws. Like
Screws.
we're gonna be getting most of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting journey, and we just want to bring you guys along with us to see if we can get within this 50K budget.
Yeah,
that
and we will break
ourselves.
everything down to you. It's just that we don't actually know the figures as we're speaking, but by the time you get this video, I'm sure you would have some
definitely.
figures.
And no, we are in day one now, so we've actually started on day one, as you can see right now. So the first thing that we needed to do was to break down that ugly conservatory, which is now gone. And that was like a 1 day job. So next thing is going to be foundation dig.
Yeah, so all the groundworks, isn't it?
So yeah, stay tuned for foundation dig, the groundworks. Let's see how we do, man. And yeah, come along on this journey with us. We look forward to seeing you soon. And please subscribe, like, and share this, as more videos are going to be coming. Yeah. See you guys. Thank you so much. Ciao.